My name is Cassy Summers. Welcome to the Curious Universe podcast. The magic of the quantum entanglements. That's what we're going to explore together today in the Curious Universe. I'm so excited. I heard about the quantum entanglements at some point in my life, kind of described as like a butterfly flaps its wings in China and then it creates a hurricane, in North America. It's the idea, it's the concept or the awareness of the interconnectedness of all things, where everything is truly connected. What if there were no so what have you, I'm just jumping into some clearings right now. It's like, what have you decided is random that isn't? That is actually the engagement of the quantum entanglements fulfilling what you've asked for, whether or not you even know if you asked for it, with total ease. Everything that is, will you destroy and create it, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, talk about all nature, voice, moments, to be honest. I'm sorry, I just finished facilitating a call. So I have to get back into podcast mode and I'm like in facilitator mode. So if you have never heard that phrase before, right, wrong, good, bad, talk about all nine shorts, boys, moments, beyond, that is Access Conscious Clearing Statement. We use it here on the show often. I use it in all my kind of energy work, my verbal facilitation, because it just works. It's magic. It clears out energy. If you want to know more about it, you can go to www.theclearingstatement.com. But I'm not going to really go into it because I want to explore with you with this quantum entanglement thing. So this is a little bit, a lot of ideas kind of overlap. So certain things that I'm going to talk about today, you might be like, oh, I heard this with like, this is the secret, or this is the law of attraction, or this is da, 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 da. And yes and no, and maybe the same, it may be different. I want to know what you know about the quantum entanglements that maybe you didn't even know that you knew, and that maybe was never acknowledged about you. Because you probably have a knowing, not from cognitive understanding, but how much of kids do we have a sense of the quantum entanglements and don't even know how to verbalize it? I think that is, we just write it, create it, please, right, wrong, good, bad, talk about all nature's voice, but let's be honest. So these quantum entanglements, this basically sense of ask and you shall receive as real and true, not just a little fairy tale that they put into the Bible. What if it actually worked? What if you would engage with the quantum entanglements and request whatever it is that you'd like to have? It actually engages, it activates all the strings that would engage everything and everyone to conspire to bring that into your world. That's how magical the quantum entanglements are. It is a complete opposition to the idea that we're all alone, because can you ever be alone when you're interconnected with all of consciousness? No. So these quantum entanglements, not only are they able to fulfill like these requests, right? The quantum entanglements can, if you're willing, they can actually provide the path for you to the easiest and fastest way to actualize, to receive that which you have asked for. Actually, let's use the word receive, because some people, when they go into actualize, they think, what do I have to do? Ask and you shall receive. There might be components of doing, but just for today, just for fun, just for this, we're going to look at it more from the sense of receiving. So you would start with some sort of question. Maybe it's like, oh, I would love to have a new relationship. I would love to find an amazing person to create my life with. I would love to have amazing sex. Like, you start to actually get a sense of all the things that you're asking for, right? I would love this, I would love this, and you're kind of pulling it together. And in this, you've already started to engage the quantum entanglements. Your request, your ask is coming into form. Not form, but coming into, a certain sense of form, but not solidifying into a structure. This does not help the quantum entanglements, but it comes into substance, okay? And the more you're willing to engage with, the more it comes into substance. So you're here and you're engaging and you're like exploring and you're curious. Now, this activates all the strings. This activates the interconnectedness of all things, right? How do you get there, though? Have you ever noticed certain times where you're kind of just going with the flow, as they would say, and like all these magical things just keep showing up? And have you ever noticed when you've tried to make something happen that it is a lot more work, and sometimes it takes force and pressure and figuring out for hours? Those are the two differences. That's when you are in the flow with the quantum entanglements, and this is when you are not in the flow of the quantum entanglements. You'll still get there eventually, but when you're willing to actually go with that flow of the quantum entanglements, it is so much easier on you and the universe to deliver that which you have asked for so that you can receive it. Now, if you're not willing to receive what you've asked for, you will push it far, far out into the future often and avoid everything that would allow you to get there quickly. Which is kind of like, for me, I would describe it energetically as when I'm stumbling along, bumping into everything. And I'm like, what? The stub my toe, nick my hand. I'm like, what is happening? Like, it seems like everything's against me right now. Well, what's true is that you are against you right now. You are doing everything you can to be against you so that the quantum entanglements don't deliver what you asked for, that it is already delivering with ease. Everything that is, will you destroy and create it, please? Right, rank, good, bad, talk about all nature, its voice, planets, and eons. So engaging with these quantum entanglements and really allowing this dance, because the first piece is you've requested something, you have asked for something. You activated the strings when you requested. You started it. and if you were to allow yourself to know how easy it could be to receive all the things you're asking for, what would you ask for that you haven't even bothered to ask for? Just curious. You can even put it in the comments. I would love to hear. Right now, just type it in. What, if you were willing to know it could be that easy, that much ease, that the quantum entanglements would deliver what you asked for, what would you ask for that you haven't been willing to ask for, that you haven't even bothered to ask for? Because I'm not going to ask for that. I know I'll never get it. When you go to that point of view, so every thought you have also will activate the quantum entanglements, all the strings of the quantum entanglements. So if you have the thought, I'll never get this, then you activate the strings that will provide you never getting it. And now you might have conflicting things. You may have one point asked for it, and then you may have decided that you're never going to get it because you put time into the equation. You put a time mandate. Well, the quantum entanglements, cannot be controlled by time. So when you're trying to control it with time, you're being a control freak. And then you have disengaged with the flow of the quantum entanglements. Uh-oh. Okay, so yeah, everything that brought up. Right, good, bad, hawk, by all nature, I suppose, yes. So here you are willing to ask for something, and you're being aware of what are you asking for, because if you get clear, like, what are you actually asking for? Do you want what you're asking for? Have you, and then what are you asking for that you're unaware of? So for example, that thought, well, I'll never get this. You're asking the quantum entanglements to make sure you never get something. Be aware of the thoughts in your head. Be aware of the feelings you have about things, and then let them all go. Be aware of them and then destroy and create them. Let them all go. What if you had no thoughts, feelings, and emotions about it? Would the quantum entanglements actually have a lot more ease to bring it to you? So here you are, you're maybe for you, it's like, ooh, luxurious living, or I want a luxurious home, or I'd like to go on a trip to Bali, or I would like a new car, or whatever it is you're asking for. Ask for whatever you want to ask for. When you're willing to be totally present with the energy of like, what would it be like to have this? You've just engaged the interconnectedness of all things. That is this universe, multiple universes, this planet, multiple planets. Every aspect of consciousness has just been engaged in your request. How could it not show up? You would have to work very hard to make sure it didn't. Because the way the quantum entanglements work is that request goes out through all those strings. And then it starts to conspire the way that it will deliver it to you. And often it does not show up the way you think it's going to. So you have to let that go too. That thinking is a barrier to receiving what you asked for. So you might have asked for a new car, and then your car gets stolen or totaled. This might be I know it sounds crazy, but the easiest and greatest way for the quantum entanglements to deliver for you. But if you go into the thought or the feelings and emotions of, oh my God, this is a disaster, I'll never have a car again, you've now activated, even though it was delivering a brand new car for you because you were about to write up this one and it was delivering this magical vehicle, you've now activated, I will never have a car again. And then what's going to get delivered? We'll see which one arrives faster. So whether it's for the creation of your life or the destruction of your life, you were always in engagement with these quantum entanglements. You were always, knowing or unknowingly, conscious or unconscious, creating your life with them. I'm going to recommend that you start exploring what it's like to be in flow. And I don't mean, I know some other practices, they use something about being in flow. So sorry that I even used that term, but being in the dance, let's use that. Being in the dance with the quantum entanglements, where you allow it to tug you over here. Where if you get a sense, I need to go over here, you just go over there. You follow the threads that will bring you to what you asked for, and you open the door to receiving it, no matter how it shows up. There's so much, if you look at how complex your personal universe is, what you will receive, what you won't receive, what limitations you've bought, what you've bought about you, what you've bought is possible about the world, all the structures that you've built. the quantum entanglements are weaving through all of those things, and it will always deliver to you what you ask for in the greatest possible scenario, if you're willing to have it. Now, the greatest possible scenario for me 10 years ago was like pretty low. That was where I was willing to receive. And that was just all the structures I had built in my life about my self-value and what I felt I deserved and how I was willing to receive, which was very little and very confined. The more I opened up to receiving in any way that it showed up, as if by magic, the quantum entanglements delivered more and more and more in such miraculous ways that my life began to become an embodiment of magic in a way that I always, as a child, I always knew was possible, but was so frustrated that it wasn't showing up. I didn't realize that I was buying into the structures of this reality that tell you it's not that easy and that these things aren't possible. But if you're even here and you've stayed on with this podcast for this long, somewhere you know that there are possibilities beyond what we think is possible. Somewhere you know that there is magic and that you are magic and that this universe is magic. So what would it be like for you to be the engagement with the quantum entanglements that would allow it to dance with you towards everything that you're asking for showing up while totally being out of control? Oh, right, get back, about all the insurance boys, what was yes. I was about to leave you, and then I had to bring up the control thing. A lot of us are control freaks, which actually slow down everything from showing up. Everything that we're asking for gets slowed down when we go into control. Controlling the interconnectedness of the entire universe? Why? Why would you even waste all that energy? And what are you controlling it? You're controlling it delivering what you asked for. You're stopping it or slowing down or trying to like twist it into something else that you've decided is the right way. But the quantum entanglements aren't using a limited mind. The quantum entanglements are functioning from true and total consciousness. So every time I've thought something showed up and it showed up different than I ever thought it was going to show up, it's always expanded into something greater than I imagined could be possible. And what if that could be true for you if you're willing to have it, if you're willing not to kill it, not to stop it, but to truly explore the infinite possibilities of a communion with the quantum entanglements, where this leads to that, and that leads to that, and that leads to that, and it's all interconnected. I love recommending movies and shows that have really kind of embody a certain energy, and what keeps popping is to share with you. This is a book series, but they also made 2 seasons. It's on Netflix in Canada, depending on where you are, you might have to Google it, but it's called Dirk Gently Holistic Detective Agency. Or just search Dirk Gently, because I think the book's titled something different and the show's titled something slightly different, but they both have Dirk Gently in it. And you will see Dirk is the embodiment of the engagement with the quantum entanglements. He goes where he needs to go without knowing why he needs to go there. And it always delivers what he's asking for. It always shows him the next step. It always shows him what he's been missing. And then he asks more and he asks more. Now, you don't see him outright asking like step 1, step 2, what's the next step? He's being the question of, okay, where next? Okay, what else? Okay, what's required here? It's really enjoyable to watch him. And then there's the character, Todd, that he meets. And Todd is the embodiment of the person trying to get this reality right, that's using their mind, that's trying to figure everything out, that is trying to use logic, that is not willing to believe the unbelievable. even though it's right in his face. It's a fun adventure. I hope you watch it. I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you can look at those places like for yourself. Where have you been the Todd and where have you been the Dirk? So where have you just kind of like danced along and something just shows up as if by magic? And where have you been the Todd where you're trying to force something and figure something out and logic something into reality and it's not working for you? What if you could be the engagement with the quantum entanglements beyond anything you ever imagined possible, that would allow you to truly receive the miraculous things in your life that you could, if you choose it, if you'd like to. Thank you for exploring the quantum entanglements, the magic of the quantum entanglements with me. There's so much more. I mean, we just scraped the surface of it, but this is a really good place to start and a really good journey to go forward with, to start to notice how the quantum entanglements communicate with you. How does it show you where to go? How does it lead you? How do you lead it? That's dance, right? What is possible with you and the quantum entanglements that you never acknowledged was possible, that now you can, that you can explore, that you can go on your own adventure with? And what if it just keeps getting greater? What if it just keeps getting greater? Because as you go along on this adventure, your receiving will grow. Your capacity to receive will get greater, which means now the quantum entanglements can deliver faster and easier and in different ways. And then it just keeps getting more and more enjoyable. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this was a contribution to you. If it was, please like, share it, gift this to your friends, to your family. I'd love to see this podcast out there more. And as always, I'm very grateful for you being here, and I'm grateful for your curiosity. Bye for now. Thank you for exploring the curious universe with me. Your curiosity matters. And what if together we could create a greater, more curious world?